Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to Post Raw number 108. I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com. I will soon be joined by my wonderful wife, Victoria, who is busy right now putting that one, little Liliana, to bed. She's still taking her little time. You know, what can you do? That's just how it goes. The little baby, they go at their own schedules. But I am here with you, and I am here to talk about this episode of Raw. Man, oh man. This, I'm going to have a little to say about this show tonight, because I barely got through the first segment, and I was already miserable. And then it just got worse. It really did. It didn't get any better. It really didn't get any better. So before I even get into all that stuff, you know, I want to say hello to everybody here. But first, I want to do a little advertisement for what's coming up this week. This week, Friday, all of your favorites are coming back for the Wrestleview Crimbus Craptacular, our annual Christmas party, the Wrestleview Christmas party, where we have a lot of our old friends come back. We're going to be having the former editor-in-chief Adam Martin's going to be on here. We're going to have, I believe, Mr. Hunter Golden's going to be joining us. I believe, well, of course, Doug Lackey, host of WrestleView Weekly, although you can't see it because the YouTube evil algorithm banned his show from yesterday. But I will make sure that it gets back. In the process right now of snipping out some of the offensive material, which is really just a tiny little video that played with no audio, but whatever. They're just jerks. I believe Tom Van Stone's going to be with us and a couple of other special guests. You never know who's going to show up on the Crimbus Craptacular. Last year, unbelievable what everybody did. We're still blown away about it a year later. Victoria and I were literally just talking about it as Raw was going on, because Jesus, it's like you got to talk about something other than Raw. But the donations that came in for us to support that one over there, Liliana, were overwhelming. And when I went back and watched that great highlight reel that Adam put together, man, it was just, it was reliving that. Very cool. And I can't wait to see what we're going to be doing this year and donate to worthy causes again. So tune in this Friday. There's also going to be a live SmackDown recap going on. I believe Mr. Jerome Weiland is going to be recapping the Ring of Honor show that's that night. But we shall see, because Ring of Honor is a mess. They did one Madison Square Garden show. They thought they were big shots. And now frickin' Impact leapfrogged them. Impact. They are like, I don't know. I think MLW is above Ring of Honor at this point. They are rough. They are in rough shape right now. But so we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. Of course, we also have TLC this Sunday, and then I believe we're going to do Post Raw next week. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say yes, we are going to do Post Raw next week. Then I usually take my little break, at the end of the year from recapping. I don't think I'll be recapping on the 28th, but we shall see. You never know. If we feel up to it, like last year, we were supposed to take like those last 2 weeks off, but then Lana and Bobby Lashley had their wedding. So it was like, you know what? This would be a good time to not only do a show and talk about that damn wedding, but to bring Victoria back, because she hadn't been back since the baby was born at that point. So, yeah. So we got that going on. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat room, though, real quick before we even get started here. So we have Quentin Walters here. Let the madness begin. Yes. Andrew Elder is here. Slipmush is here. Hello, Slip. Mr. V, our dear friend Mr. V. That's why I don't watch Raw anymore and recap old pay-per-views for my project. There you go. Yep. Randy Turcola in the chat room with us. Hello, Randy. I am Alpha, which is Det Morales. So we say hello to Det. Let's see. Jerome Weiland's here with us. Jerome Weiland, our dear friend, one of our best news recappers by far. Let's see. Nafis Sadat. He goes, wait, never mind. Sounds like it was a shitty Raw. I'm going to try and stick around then. Yes, you should, because this was, it was really bad. Mashoon Walls is here. Hello, Mashoon. DeAndre Sisson. Hello, how are you? Corey Howell. Hello, Corey. How are you? Hope you're having a good night. Let's see. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody? Sweet Lou is here. Mike Tedesco looking sharp on the new TV. Oh, good. I'm glad you're coming through on Sweet Lou's nice high-def TV. Unfortunately, you have to look at my face. Pretty soon you'll be looking at Victoria's face. All right. Corey's asking, will I be recapping NXT Wednesday? If nothing comes up on Wednesday, I don't see why I wouldn't be recapping NXT this Wednesday as we get ready for New Year's Evil. But next Wednesday, I'd highly doubt it. The day before Christmas Eve, highly doubtful. We shall see. Anyway, before I get started with this Raw recap, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please do. All right, let's get going here. So, this Raw was, I mean, I've been kind of railing lately about. Thank you for the salmon colored shirt. This is supporting my union here, my teachers union. I've been railing against this show for not advertising anything in advance because it's like, for number one, it just shows, just how last minute everything is planned for this show, this 3-hour show that they're asking you to invest 3 hours of your time every week. And they don't even have the decency to have a script done at least the morning of, so you can at least know what you're going to be seeing that night. It's, it's like AEW, say what you want. Sometimes I think their shows are almost too loaded. Like last week, it was, not only was it like Sting's first promo with Tony Schiavone in 19 years, it was Shaq. Shaq was on the show as well. And a million other things happening. Sometimes I feel like they're too loaded. But at least you know what the hell you're going to see. And chances are they're going to give you something that's like, oh, that I want to see. So it's like, oh, I'm a sports fan. Shaquille O'Neal's going to be on the show. I'm going to be watching that show because that sounds really interesting. Or Sting's going to be doing a promo with Tony Schiavone. Oh, bring me back to my childhood. Yeah, I'll watch that. Raw, you never know what the hell you're going to see. And most of the time, it's something that you probably didn't want to see to begin with. Well, this week, they went the opposite route, and they did advertise stuff for the show. Problem is, almost none of it was something that anybody would want to see. Nightmare Before TLC, I was like, oh God, they're going to do a campy Christmas thing. I honestly thought that was going to be a 3rd-hour segment because I was like, well, the 3rd hour has been bombing every single week. It's horrible. Every week is almost a record low. It's crazy. But I figured, all right, they'll just stuff that, right at the end. We'll have a 6-man tag with New Day and Jeff Hardy versus the Hurt Business. That sounds okay to me, but nothing exciting because I feel like I've been seeing some iteration of that match forever now. Nia Jax versus Lana. Please, that was the one thing that they had advertised long term going into this show. Jesus God Almighty, it's so bad. Yeah, that's what they gave you. So, you know what? Maybe they should go back to not advertising because when I looked at that lineup about an hour before I started recapping the show, I was like, I have no interest in watching the show or recapping it or anything. I was already turned off before I even turned it on. That's with what they were advertising. Very sad. Slipmush, was it just me or on Facebook's Wrestleview media post was Lana smiling, sniffing Nia's butt and pinning her? Yeah, like every time they do those roll-ups, there's always some kind of weird picture that comes out of it. Yeah, and that one definitely looked strange. Raw for me comes on at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. I don't record or waste my time watching it. I thought Drum was going to say to not spoil it for him because he was going to watch it. No way. But yeah, so this one segment that I was truly dreading, the Nightmare Before TLC, I was like, they're going to throw that on the 3rd segment, whatever. It's going to it'll just compound my misery, but at least it'll probably be quick and I'll probably be so numb by that point I won't even care. No, they opened up with this segment here. And it's a good thing Victoria's not down here right now, because what I'm going to say will jeopardize my marriage. I am sure of it. But, you know, like I talked for a long time about how, like, 2017, 2018, even 2016, 2017, 2018, Miz was like the MVP of Raw by far. By far, he was just awesome. You know, like I looked forward to his segments every single week when he created, you know, what the heck were they called at the time? His entourage, Miz and the Entourage, with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, and then they turned into the B Team. When he had Damien Mizdow, like Miz's segments were must watch and stuff that I truly looked forward to. He was the MVP for like 2 years on this show, and not only that, he was having great matches. Like, I remember he made it his mission to, like, bring the Intercontinental title back to relevancy. And I don't think that was just a storyline. I really think that he was serious about it, because the Intercontinental title at that point, I remember they did the Miz Tourage. Thank you, Corey. At the time, I remember one storyline heading into WrestleMania was like Wade Barrett was the Intercontinental champion, and the entire premise that led to a friggin' ladder match was everybody just kept stealing the title from him. It was absurd. It was asinine. It was just like, it was not befitting of, the Intercontinental title. And I'm sorry, it's like, yeah, I know that they're props, but they're the props that the entire show is built around. So we kind of should take them seriously a little bit. If nothing means anything, then why the hell even watch the show? What's the point? You're watching people just bump into each other for what? If the titles mean nothing. So I really think that, and he did a great job with it. I still remember on Raw 25, Miz and Roman Reigns had a great Intercontinental Championship match. It was really, really good. A total pay-per-view caliber match. I wouldn't say main event, but definitely a pay-per-view caliber Intercontinental title match. He also had a great triple threat against Finn Balor and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. He was great. He was doing great. Then he went to SmackDown, and now he's back with John Morrison. And The Miz is most decidedly not great. The Miz is actually a giant hole in this show. He sucks. And so does John Morrison. And so does their comedy and everything. Just the entire presentation, the entire package. The only thing that they didn't do tonight, which I was so happy about, and maybe they did and I just kind of drowned it out, the correct thing. I can't, like, that one's just driving me crazy. But they are together horrible. Miz sitting there reading, puts over his Miz and Mrs. show. Apparently, this really upset Victoria. 5 seconds into the show, she was upset because Miz was talking about how Miz and Mrs. is airing its last new episode for the year this Thursday. So that upset her. But what followed upset me as somebody who's followed this product for as long as I have memories, pretty much. Because it's just so far and removed from anything resembling good. that's the best I can put it. It's so far and away from anything resembling good or decent or even professional wrestling at this point. It's just bad. Yeah, I think Jerome's spot on right here. Yeah, Corey House says cringe when he says correct. Jerome says The Miz is past his prime. John Morrison's past his prime. Old, boring, recycled nonsense. Yes, I know. That's the thing. They're both. I don't think The Miz is 40 yet, but he's very close to it. Let me just double check that. I think. Oh no, he is 40. He just turned 40. John Morrison, I believe, is close to 40, or no, he's 41. Okay, so these are two guys that are in their 40s or just turned 40, doing the stuff that they did in 2018 when they were in their late 20s. It's very reminiscent of how I felt when they brought back D-Generation X, and it's just like, okay, so now, so let me get this straight. I'm going to watch 40-year-old Shawn Michaels and late 30s Triple H do what they were doing when they were in their early 30s and mid 20s. Knowing that they're both fathers, that they've both gone through all this tremendous growth with their characters, and now we're just going to go back and talking about sausages and wieners and stuff like that. Great. Like it's just, you know, you can go retro without having to embarrass yourself and start like and become like a caricature of what you once were. You can bring back the gimmick, but a more mature version of the gimmick. This is not it. Like that's something that WWE never. They're just like, oh well, everybody wants to see, you know, juvenile DX, and it's like, no, I don't want to see old guys pretending that they're young again. They can do goofy stuff, but do it in the context of who they are now. Do it in the context of where they are with their characters, not 15 years ago. Now, do it now. Brutal. That's what Miz and Morrison are doing right now. It was cringy. They did this fake sword fight with John Morrison doing his bad Scottish accent. AJ Styles stabs him with oh god, it was torture. Then Sheamus comes out, and now it leads to AJ Styles versus Sheamus. It was just a horrible, despicable way to start this show. It just started off on the wrong foot. I was already, like I said, dreading this show going into it. Victoria can attest to that I was absolutely dreading this show going into it. I was thinking, my God, we still have Lana versus Nia Jax on the horizon. Victoria just came downstairs, by the way. This is going to be a long 3 hours. I think I did. I put a disclaimer out on Twitter at 8:12 p.m. Don't watch this show. Do not watch this show. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. Just follow along the recap on Wrestleview. I will save you the pain and misery. Anyway, we get AJ Styles versus Sheamus, and they actually had a pretty darn good, hard-hitting match. But there were a few issues that I had here. Number one, AJ Styles wins. Of course, he should win. He's the number one contender. That's just how it should be. If you're going for the WWE Championship, you should win. Yeah, of course. So, okay, my problems with this match were the almost stuff. The almost stuff is so stupid. Like, you know, like, number one, he doesn't really do much. He just kind of stands there. I can kind of understand why they want to send him to the performance center here, but so he just stands there, and just by his mere presence of being there, that's supposed to terrify everybody and throw them off their game. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Camera down a little bit. Tilt it over a little more like that.
This way?
The other way. Keep going. Nope. Other way. There you go. A little more. There you go. Now tilt it down. Sorry, we're trying to get Victoria set up here. All right. Before I get into all the problems with the match, let me bring in Victoria.
Hi, everybody.
There she is.
Hello.
Victoria. Yep. So I was telling them how I was. How was I before this show started?
Okay, not even like normally, you know, we have a little bit of a reprieve, you know, like you definitely always have some sort of like freak out or like angry moment, at least at one point during the show. But this was almost immediately. Like Miz and Morrison didn't even get like 2 seconds in without freaking out, and you're like, this is gonna be awful, this is gonna be shit, and blah 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 blah. And I was like,
well, I knew it. I was
but
right.
It was just but then it was continuous too. Like the whole night was just freak out. Like
I freaked out after that first segment.
Almost everything annoyed you and angered you. And
normally, there's some things I liked.
But we normally get like a mic rant on here. I got a mic rant the whole night, just about.
Yeah. Victoria definitely did get a rant from me because I started screaming about how I would literally. Is she a little quiet there? Let me fix her up there a little bit.
Oh, me? I'm a little quiet? That's surprising.
That's surprising. Horrible.
Can you hear me now?
good. What's her frequency? Here we go. All right. I think I boosted her up a little bit more. Her Northeast can hear her.
Can you hear me?
You can hear her now.
All right.
Yeah, I was saying that of all the television shows at this point that I've seen.
No. It wasn't even a television show that we compared it to. Can no one still hear me?
I don't know.
Hello? Can everyone hear me?
It's lighting up on the thing.
Okay.
Lighting up. I don't know. Go on.
Okay.
Let's talk.
So out of every... No, it wasn't a TV show. Oh, no, it was. It started off with a TV show. So Mike said he'd rather watch a marathon of Chicago PD than watch the show for 3 hours. And I was like, well, that's pretty bad because we really don't like Chicago PD.
We hate Chicago PD.
But then I asked him, like, okay, would you rather listen to WAP and watch this show? And he goes, I'd rather listen to WAP. I go, whoa, now we're really in deep.
Yeah, it's most decidedly not good. It's a really, really bad, poor excuse for a television show. I cannot believe what this show has become. I really can't. I honestly thought that we hit rock bottom in 2018. Remember they were doing I think it was Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre. Remember that they were just running wild, and it was like Constable Corbin, and it was the most miserable thing I've ever watched in my entire life. Mm-hmm. This is way worse. Because they're not even trying anymore. I mean, like AJ Styles is a cartoon at this point. You know, that sword fight with John Morrison just solidified that for me.
It was, you know what?
It's like I get they're trying to be funny, but like, you know what? Enough with the fucking jokes. I'm tired of them with their piss poor comedy. Can we just get something resembling a professional wrestling show? Maybe try that. They've tried everything else. They try to pretend that they don't fucking market in professional wrestling, but that's what it is at the end of the day. As Steve Austin says, well, goddamn kid, that's the thing that's on the marquee, wrestling. It's like, yeah. What, why can't we, did I just wake her up just now?
You're about to.
Okay.
No,
can we please just get something resembling a wrestling show?
Yeah. And I think that they've always been doing this where, well, I'm not going to say always. Obviously, they haven't always been doing it. There's been a point at one time that they've been focusing more on, you know, the wrestling component and simple storytelling. But now
Now it's stupid storytelling.
Well, it's just like you said with the comedy stuff. It's like, it's not fun. And especially from who it's coming from. And I did briefly hear you while I was upstairs, and I do agree with you.
Oh, wait. Is our marriage over?
No, I said I do agree with you.
I know. I just want to make sure that you agree that I thought you were saying
Wait a minute.
I thought you were saying you agree that our marriage is over.
What the hell? No.
No.
No, I do agree with you. I think like this, you know, and you know I'm a big Miz fan, obviously.
You're a Miz fan.
And I even had said in a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? Like, no, I like the shtick that they're doing. I think even though they're still doing a lot of what they've done previously, I still think it's funny and I think it's whatever. But I think as the weeks kind of progress, you know, you're right. It's not, you know, the Miz and Morrison that it once was. You know, they were kind of like these, you know, I'm not going to say completely like goofball kids, but they were, you know, these kind of like jackass, you know, 20-year-olds who, you know, were, you know, were just.
They're not watching the show.
No, but what I'm saying is like at one point, Miz and Morrison were like these, you know, these 20-year-old guys who were like trying to be funny and try to be cool. And
yeah, because they were trying to make a name for themselves, so they were hungry,
right?
And they were doing things on their own because they had their own web series, The Dirt Sheet,
right.
You know, like they were trying to make a name for themselves, and that worked. Now they're trying to now they've made it, and they're trying to recreate something that you can't capture lightning in the bottle twice. Sometimes you can't.
I'm saying initially I thought to myself like, oh no, it's evolving. It's not the same.
It's devolving
as it was in the past. And granted, maybe they're not doing as nearly stupid things that they used to do, but at the same time, no, they're not the Miz and Morrison from 10 years ago. They're the Miz and Morrison of now. Like, you know, I don't know much about Morrison and his, like, I don't know if he's married, I don't know if he has kids, I don't know about his deal.
I think Batista ruined that for him.
But I think that, you know, obviously, as we know, Miz has 2 kids. He's this, you know, he's this good dad. His life has changed. He's not that, like, that Miz anymore, where it's like, you know, I'm just gonna do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm gonna do like part of these, and the thing is, it's like, if they really want to play like the comedy angle with them, they can. They're both funny, you know, like they have great chemistry together. You can tell that they're genuinely.
They are friends.
Yeah, they're genuinely good friends in real life, but they just need to kind of evolve the characters and have a new funny. If they want to go with the comedy route, a new comedy route as opposed to what they were doing back in the day. Because I did think, I'm like, no, it's going to be fine. Like, they'll be all right. Like, they'll get into it. But the more and like, AJ Styles, he also has this, like, really funny moments. But it's this humor that, like, a 5-year-old might get into, but not anybody else at this point. And like you said, those are not the people watching. Like, you're not tailoring to the individuals who are watching. You're not going to a greater span of people. You're just kind of catering to, like, kids maybe back in the day.
It's still the audience of one. It's still Vince at the end of the day. It's like, but you know I wasn't on the Vince should step down train. You know what? I really wasn't, but now I am. I have no choice.
You know what I would love to see?
It's the only thing that makes sense now.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in these, when people are proposing ideas to him, or like this.
I don't even think they do anymore. He's so inaccessible.
One or two things I think happen.
Like look at the Last Ride documentary. He made Undertaker wait outside his office for like 2 hours while he was clanging and banging in the gym. Like he made the Undertaker wait. And Undertaker's like, oh, I hope Daddy Vince lets me play again in the ring. It's like, my God, like nobody has any dignity with this man.
I think one or two things happen when it comes to like, well, and especially when it comes to like comedy sticks, right? I think one or two things happens. I think somebody either proposes an idea that's so preposterous, right? Like they're just saying, oh, whatever, nonsense. And then he's like, no, yeah, go with that. And then like they keep talking about it and just gets sillier and sillier. Or I think that Vince starts like running his mouth, right? He keeps talking and then he starts hysterically laughing. And then because it's your boss and these people want to obviously stay and have a job, they just like, ha 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 ha, yeah, that's so funny, Vince, yeah, ha 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 ha. And he's genuinely laughing hysterically, and everybody else is just like, oh yeah, that's funny, not really, but we're gonna keep laughing because it's the boss, you know. And you know the Miz, he's always been a yes guy. You give him something, he's gonna do it no matter what.
Well, that's how you stay on top in this company.
So I mean,
and like I remember when the Undertaker turned heel in 2001, there was a lot of truth in his in the promo that he cut to turn heel, where it's like, you know, Jim Ross, you know, you're not gonna kiss this man's ass, you know, that's fine, but you know it's ironic, the one who kissed your ass the most, Vince McMahon, was me. And it's like, yeah, that's how you stay on top. Mm-hmm. You got to kiss that guy's ass. Yeah, and whatever he gives you, you just got to do.
Miz is always he's a worker.
It worked
he will do whatever he needs to do.
It worked for a time. It worked for a time, you know, the whole Vince thing, you know, like his brand of humor somehow, some way in America, with Bill Clinton getting blowjobs in the Oval Office, and we were just kind of like, you know, a society that was kind of rebelling a little bit, like that kind of, you know, trailer park humor from where Vince McMahon comes from. Not that there's anything wrong with living in a trailer park, but like that's where he comes from. You know, he's got a little bit of a rough and tough background here. He loves his fart jokes. He loves his pee jokes, whatever it is. I don't know. Like, I don't get it, but that's Vince McMahon. Somehow in the mid to late 90s, society kind of, I'm not going to say evolved, I'm going to say devolved to kind of get that brand of humor. And they kind of, and everybody liked it. You know, they liked him being racy and trashy on TV. They, you know, Jerry Springer was big. You know, it's like, okay,
yeah, that type of television really worked.
I mean, that's the last,
the Jerry Springers. You know, the oh my gosh, Let's even. I don't even
Maury.
I don't even know if Maury's as popular as it was.
It's not. It's not.
But it was. It was like
It
you're
was
not
huge.
the father. Like that was.
It's
big.
huge. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
was
Everybody.
big.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. But anyway, what I'm saying is that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now. And
It's different.
you know, they can hire all these finance people to, you know, move the money here and move the money there and get a TV deal here and a TV deal there, and we're going to make our own streaming service, and they can make it seem like they're this thriving company, and maybe in many ways they are for now. But at the end of the day, this is a company that's lifeblood is the consumer and the people that watch. And literally all they've done for as long as almost as long as I've been recapping on Wrestleview is just turn people away. Honestly, it really started when they made that decision, that fateful, horrible decision to take the money rather than, you know, quality over quantity in 2012 when they did Raw 1000, and then it was like, hey, we're gonna do 3-hour Raws every week forever now because it's more money. It's more money.
There was many different things that have changed.
We're almost 500 episodes past Raw 1000. I believe this was episode number 1439.
Wow.
We're almost 500 episodes into this. Look what it's done to Monday Night Raw.
Too much.
Look what it's done.
It's too much.
This once, I mean, the show sucked in 2009, 2010 with the guest hosts. That was horrible. But for the most part, this was like the flagship. This is the show to watch, and even if it wasn't really good, it was still pretty decent. And you knew if you tuned into Raw, you're going to see something special. You never know if it, like, you know, January 2010, Bret Hart comes back. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. They have a battle royal in 2007, and Marty Jannetty's there. Like whatever. You never know what you're going to tune into with Raw. Now it's like you have no incentive to want to watch it anymore because it's such a bastardized version of itself. And it's like, you know, like when you make these decisions to chase the money, like, it's so short-sighted, and everything they do is short-sighted. That's why this show feels like it has no direction. That's really what I was kind of focused on tonight when I was watching it. Just how directionless this show is. Yeah. There's like very, very few things that you can see like some kind of like thought put in that's more than next week. You know, the Sheamus Drew McIntyre thing, maybe. I get, you know, like there's some thought put into there, but even that feels extremely rushed. You know, like. I can't think of anything else. It's just like, you know, they just keep bleeding us through Nia Jax and Lana. It's like we cannot end that soon enough.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a very...
New Day versus Hurt Business. Now it's like 2 months of the same stuff. We've been seeing it for 2 months now. And because they're not thinking long term of like, how are we going to pay this off? It's like, okay, well, I don't know how we're going to pay this off, so let's just have them have another match this week, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all short-sighted thinking.
It's very...
and that's the one thing, you know, when you chase the money, when you take the money rather than, you know, thinking about how, you know, how is this going to affect our viewers, our consumers? How is this going to affect our writing staff who now has an extra hour every week to write? They don't think about that. It's just, oh, we're getting more money. And you know, maybe they got a good TV deal out of it, you know, for 5 years, you know, $500 million or whatever it is with NBC and almost $1 billion with Fox. That's good money. But as they continue to erode their viewers with bad storytelling and characters that you just cannot get into, and this Bray Wyatt shit that's way over the top, it's like, you know, is this a movie or is this professional wrestling at this point? Like I don't get it anymore.
That's the argument that we always made, though. Vince is writing because he wants he wants one day WWE Raw to get an Emmy for something.
It's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. But
they floated it.
That's
they tried.
Goal. That's his really, and maybe not so much anymore. But what I'm saying is like he wants to take away that wrestling out of it so badly that it's like, but you're a wrestling company,
right? But like I'm watching this show.
I find that ever since that they did go to the 3 hours. It definitely changed the game, and not in a good way. But see, I'm not a business person. I've never really had that mentality. It's just not, unfortunately, it's just not part of my brain where, I feel like if I was a little bit more business savvy, I'd be, in a better position in a sense of like, coming up with this idea and executing and whatever. But the only thing I will say is this. If I were in the company and somebody were able to like, yeah, it looks great. Like it looks good on paper and you're getting all that like fast income and, whatever over time. But the quality over the quantity is so much better because in the long run, that's where their money would have been. They would have been making their money.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would have, I'm not going to say necessarily it would have it equals the amount that they were initially getting from the TV deals and stuff like that. However, the need and the want and the excitement to watch wrestling would have been there. And then you could have kind of put more into your pay-per-views and stuff like that if you wanted to make those a little bit longer, but still keep the Raw and SmackDown 2 hours. Yeah, that would have been fine. Because, again, when you watch a pay-per-view, you expect it to be a little bit longer because you're bringing both brands in. You're tying things together. There's going to be more matches.
Yeah.
There's more. It's going to, in theory, it's supposed to, bring everything together in terms of storytelling and matches, but that's not what's happening. So, but if they had just gone the route of, like, let's keep it to 2 hours. Let's keep it where people are, and that hunger. And I'm not saying that the wrestlers aren't hungry. However, what's the incentive of being that top individual? If you know that most likely, because they need to fill a 3-hour show, you'll probably be on a throwaway match or a throwaway segment because they need bodies.
That happened tonight. Riddle versus MVP. That was, if that didn't scream, we need to waste a couple minutes. Then I don't know what the hell it is. Like we watched The Social Dilemma for the first time the other night.
Yeah.
And like there's so many things that were said about Silicon Valley and what they've done to our applications on our phones and stuff like that to make us like addicted. It's like kind of like WWE has done like some sort of like half-assed version of it. Like they've made their show so pretty and so sterile, and there's so many lights and lasers and fireballs, and it's like, oh, look at this presentation, this must be really good. And it's like, we're just going to keep hitting you with content, because that means more ads. That means more ads, and that means more videos that we can put on YouTube to make more money off of the ads. It's like, they're like the white trash version of like, Facebook and Instagram and Google and all those companies are trying to get you addicted. Like they're trying to get you addicted to their product, but too bad their product isn't as good as Facebook and Google and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they're taking those
the interest of the people.
Yes, they don't care about their consumer anymore. They just care about their advertisers and making that dollar off of you, or that couple cents that from you watching their crummy friggin' YouTube
so funny.
show video.
The less that they kind of put into something in terms of, like you said, like ads and lights and whatever. I remember when we went to Evolution. What year was that? 2018?
2018.
We went to Evolution, and anybody could attest who was there. It didn't look like anything special. They gave them the bare minimum as far as like their setup and everything. Yep. However, that was one of the, like, and for me personally, that was probably one of the best pay-per-views I've been to.
I would say for me too.
It's my top, 4 for sure, and they didn't have all the glitz and the glamour and it was just something to kind of like, okay, you can't go to Saudi Arabia with us, so here's this pay-per-view that we're going to give you.
That is pretty much what it wound up being.
So, but it wound up being phenomenal because, again, there wasn't all this extra like hype or whatever. What is going on?
I'm trying to make sure your microphone is fine.
It wasn't all about that. It was just about, again, these matches and these women wrestling, and at the end of the day, that's what the show is. It's wrestling. It's like, why do we even bother at this point, for the amount of matches, and yeah, there are matches on the shows, but it's like for the amount of matches that they don't really put into them, they put into like these stories, quote unquote. It's like if you want to be a wrestler, just go into acting and then go into the company, because like at this point, it's like they don't even care. Like if you're really gonna be investing money, then go get them acting classes at this point, because you don't seem to care. Like, why are they making such a big stink about Keith Lee, Omos, and Mace at this point? Because it's like, they need help with
Otis.
Work, right? They need help with work. But it's like...
No, well, it's because Vince is like, oh, they're not like Andre the Giant. And it's like, well, Andre the Giant's the way he was because he got to ply his craft in multiple places and learn how to work. They you know, nothing against Matt Bloom. Yeah. Nothing against Matt Bloom and, you know, or Sarah Stock's not there anymore, but like, you know, a couple of the other coaches down there. You know, yeah, you have Shawn Michaels that drops in and does stuff with NXT, but for the most part, it's like you know, the Matt Bloom show. How are you supposed to learn the craft and how to be successful from somebody who never was?
But they're also
it's like,
just
and you're just learning this one style. Like WWF was like firing on all gears. Was like you had all these people that kind of came from the tail end of the territory days. You had Mick Foley who did some time in WCCW in Dallas. And he also did ECW and WCW and Japan and learned how to work a million places. Jericho, who worked in Europe, Germany, England, Mexico, Japan, Canada. He worked everywhere. You know, like you have all these people. Undertaker worked in Memphis, worked in WCW, worked in Texas. His first match was against Bruiser Brody. Like, yeah. What I'm saying is like, you know, you have all these people that kind of came in and they all had different styles. You know, it's like everything is the fucking same.
Well,
like,
even
you know,
AJ
segment
Styles,
to segment.
you know,
Jerome just made a good point here, saying like, you know, you can have all the laser lights, smoke machines, and fancy stuff you want, but if the in-ring product sucks, you are wasting time and money. Now, the in-ring product's a different thing. That I'm not even going to get into that today. I do think it's lacking. But at the end of the day, wrestling has never been built on like what happens in the ring. You know, it's about the characters that capture your attention, capture your interest. You know, and that's not built from a stupid, TV studio in Orlando with a direct feed in the Triple H's office. That's built from going over here and learning what work. How do I get over in Japan? How do I get over in Mexico?
Yeah.
How do I get over in Canada? How do I get over in Europe? How do I get over in South America? How do I get over in Johannesburg? You know, you have to like. It's not going to come from just like, well, here's a 2-page, synopsis of what your character is, and I don't care if you don't believe in it. That's the thing that I've been noticing, like tonight especially. I'm watching Ricochet have a match against Mace. I don't feel passion there. Like, yeah, granted, the Retribution thing sucks, but I'm not feeling passion from these two guys that are on TV. They don't believe in what they're doing. I don't blame them. They've been booked like shit. I don't feel passion when I'm watching what the hell? What other segment did I notice that was just completely passionless? There doesn't seem to be passion with Dana Brooke and Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Like they're goofy. They're being goofy. They're just trying to get themselves over rather than trying to push a story together. It's like Lana and Nia Jax is one of the worst acted things I've seen in quite some time. Lana's trying. It doesn't seem like everybody else is trying. It's like the one thing they keep focusing on is that stupid line that Nia Jax said last week. Oh, so her boobs are gonna be on her back. That's what they're trying to get you to take away from here. Isn't Nia Jax funny? And another thing, the things that make you go, like what the. How is this possible? Mm-hmm. How is Keith Lee going back to the Performance Center to learn how to work and Nia Jax is not? How does that make any sense?
Yeah.
There's a lack of passion.
I think that when you have, especially somebody like AJ Styles, who and this is just in general, who's been in multiple areas, right? He's worked in different areas.
Yes.
Now you're noticing
Yes.
but now you're noticing the discrepancy. Now you're noticing this, the individuals who are working, now they can't match up. The up and comers, they can't match up with the people who've been there and who've been around different, because they don't know how to adapt to different styles. And there's even this huge gap between NXT and WWE. The matches that you're learning how to perform in NXT are completely different than what you're learning in WWE. And that's half the time why these individuals, when they come up, they flounder, because it's like there's no consistency. There's too much consistency and there's not enough consistency either. It's a weird mix between, like, you're within the same company, but you're not able to also explore different outlets at the same time. So I don't know. I find the whole thing to just be confusing, and there isn't any passion, because I think they themselves are just defeated. And like I said, I always make fun of Ricochet, you know this. But it must be...
What's his line?
Why not me?
He said it with more passion than he did.
But I feel like I do kind of feel bad for him in a lot of ways, because, you know, maybe there was this passion that once was when he started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably just slowly drifting away, because what are they really doing? And like you said, no one could really talk to Vince. And it seems to me, it's been over the years, especially the past few years, it's a lot worse.
Oh, he's built barrier after barrier to keep people back.
Because he just doesn't want any opportunity to even to say no at this point. He just wants to, this is what we're doing.
Yep.
And just
again, like they have convinced themselves that they're no longer in the wrestling business. Vince looks at himself as like Michael Bay making a movie right now.
And he doesn't think that either, and he's not taking, and granted, I don't take AEW seriously sometimes either myself, but there's nothing lighting a fire even underneath them in terms of, like, there are other companies.
I know. And AEW, you watch that, like, all I feel, you know, like say what you want, all I feel is passion coming through that TV. Yeah, the people who
want to be there because they want to wrestle.
They're excited.
They want to wrestle.
I'm not a fan of, like, them constantly saying, "Oh, they let me be me here. They let me be me." It's like who cares about that?
No, but they let them wrestle.
It's like stop taking veiled shots at WWE and just be you. But they do let them, you know, they're letting them be them will come through on the screen. You don't have to beat me over the head with that.
They take chances.
But I feel that passion. They do take chances. They are free to take chances. They're allowed to. Fall on your face on TV,
yeah.
But do it taking a damn chance.
Okay.
Like remember I was talking about, what the hell is her name? Nyla Rose. Cut a promo. I was recapping for Josh one night last year. Or earlier this year. I can't remember. Everything blends together now. But it was a promo. Like, when I went on Twitter, everybody was like, that promo was meh. I was like, I love this promo. I'm going to tell you why I love this promo. Because Nyla Rose went out there and she had a couple bullet points that she wanted to get over, and she went out there and did her damnedest. It wasn't some pre-written bullshit piece of crap by somebody who doesn't know the Nyla Rose character. It was Nyla Rose giving a shot at an unscripted promo, and I would rather watch Nyla Rose fumble through material like that than listen to the fucking Nightmare Before TLC any day of the week. I'd rather watch Chicago PD on an infinite loop. I'd rather watch 15 bar makeout scenes on Chicago PD than watch this fucking sterilized show.
Can you imagine, though? And again,
look what's become of the show.
That it has gotten worse, and especially to the past few years. Because think about where Miz has come from, right? Like when he did his first Diva search, like when he had the lines on his hand, he couldn't remember the number. He was like all over the place. Could you imagine if they didn't give him an opportunity after that? They're like, oh, he sucks. Like, we're not going to use him again. Like, he really messed up. Nowadays, if you have even one thing like that where you mess up, you're out. That's it. Vince could drop you at the drop of a hat. He could,
Look what happened to Lars Sullivan. Like, you know, against probably all advice, he brought him back. And again, it's like, how are you gauging connectivity when there's no fans in the building? How many people have been dropped this year? Andrade, Angel Garza, Zelina Vega, who carried the show in the first half of the pandemic. Zelina Vega's gone. Andrade's off TV. Angel Garza's giving roses to friggin' mystery people on screen. Now it's not. Now it's a Raw exclusive. It's not even on TV anymore. Like these people that, you know, you have an idea, you try really hard. Well, this week it didn't get over with old man fuck Vince, so you're off TV and you don't get a shot. Yeah. Lars Sullivan disappeared. Now we have Jackson Riker, who's back with Elias, probably against all sound advice again. And I'm guessing the reason why Jackson Riker was pissed off tonight was because he found out that the Electoral College votes are actually real and they're not going away. But the guy apparently is racist or whatever it is. It's like why is he here? But again, you bring him back, you get all this controversy for 3 weeks, and then he gets dropped again. I'm sure. Yeah, like that's what they do with people. They don't. Look, Keith Lee beat Randy Orton on Payback, and now look at him. Now he's back at the PC, and Vince is calling him fat piece of shit, and like, I mean, losing to Miz and Morrison in a handicap match that I don't even know why it was booked.
And you know what's amazing too? We're running into that Cesaro territory, where like Vince is actively going against his own roster.
Yeah.
He's going against
against his own fans.
Cesaro doesn't have an it factor.
Right, because that's what the fans want.
How dare you?
No, the fans wanted Cesaro. He doesn't have the it factor. Maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, but did you ever give him a chance?
No. But that's the thing. It's like how even if he himself is like not much of a fan of this guy, let's see, but you don't actively go out on a public forum and say this is what's going on. Right. I don't like this guy. How does that look good for you?
It doesn't.
Because you're only as strong as your weakest link.
I agree.
If you genuinely believe that Keith Lee, Otis, and whoever need to go back, don't broadcast it and go around saying that they suck. Just be like, you know what? Keep that under wraps a little bit and allow them to get better if that's how you genuinely feel, but don't outright say, well, these guys just suck, so we're just not going to give them a chance, and we're just going to they have to go back now. Right. That doesn't do anything.
It does. It doesn't.
It doesn't do anything. You just
it doesn't.
Stupid because you don't believe in your own. You don't believe in your own individuals. You don't believe in your own company.
Even the stuff that's like decent is so full of holes, like that I can't believe it made television. So like getting back to this Raw after this big giant rant.
So
I was at AJ Styles and Sheamus here, and they had a good match, but you know like the Omos stuff. Omos pulls in full view of the referee. Sheamus is getting ready to powerbomb AJ Styles through the
really got you going
whatever.
Too.
Like Omos just pulls AJ Styles off of Sheamus right in full view of the referee, inserting himself into a match that he's not part of. To save his friend, that's a disqualification.
And it didn't happen.
Which whatever. It's a fake show. It's fake fighting. Okay, I get it. But you know what?
They're not consistent though.
It's only further erodes the credibility that referees have. And when you erode the credibility the referees have, that weakens the overall product, because then you're basically being told by WWE, nothing matters.
Are they?
You know, the referee only matters when we need to get to a finish that we don't want to give you.
Right.
So we're going to have the referee call disqualification. But, here it's not going to be a disqualification because we want this to...
I used to love...
If you're conditioned to take nothing seriously, then nothing means anything.
I used to love when the referee...
Other than that, it was a good match.
I used to love when the referee was involved. And it was like, when he or she did something, it was like it meant something, and like they would even get involved. It's like, oh, what did the referee do? Is he corrupt? Is he whatever? Like, there's none of that anymore. They're not even allowed to have their names. It's just like the ref. Like, you can't even refer to them as who they are.
Anytime the NFL shows anybody, like if the referee is like making an announcement, it's like they have his little nameplate right there. You know who it is.
Again, I
it's like you watch a baseball game and it's like, okay, well, Joe West is behind the home plate today. We're screwed.
We're screwed. Yeah, no, but it and yes, we don't like Joe West being on there for that reason. But again, there's engagement though, because it's like, oh man, what's gonna happen?
It adds a wrinkle to the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they don't know. They don't know. And I think I think when in terms of when you just said before about, it was Sheamus and
Omos or AJ.
It was AJ, right? I think it was good, but a finish like that, or like not a finish, but the no DQ,
a spot like that.
Exactly. It takes you out of it.
Yes, it took me right out of it. Because it's like, why is that allowed?
Right. Then you focus
and then the very next match, they're like, oh, that's going to be a DQ if he keeps it up. It's like,
oh, but
now? Why now?
Now.
So it's like that's the shit that goes through my mind. And how about this? Sheamus is turned upside down, has his feet tied up in the ropes, and he's getting beaten like a drum with a chair. And it's like, every single heel has a friend that's a ride or die friend. Elias now has Jackson Riker. Retribution has all their dickheads with them.
Miz
and Morrison have each other. AJ Styles has Omos. It's like, if you're a heel, you have a friend that's going to be there for you, who's going to defend you. Drew McIntyre is the face of the company in many ways, or at least the face of Monday Night Raw. He's our top face.
And I don't want to hear...
He is the worst fucking friend I've ever seen in my life. How does he leave Sheamus like that? Drew McIntyre, you suck.
And I don't want to hear from people, because I've heard this before. No, and this is just in this particular circumstance, but I've heard before, like, okay, so Drew McIntyre didn't come out tonight, right, to help Sheamus. So you're like, oh, well, maybe that means more than something. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that, again, you're a face in the company. You don't have any friends.
Right.
There's nothing more to it than oh, he purposely did it. He purposely didn't come out. Nobody ever comes out when you're friends. And the heels, conveniently too, when everybody starts beating up on somebody, immediately they pop out. A face, sometimes it takes them 20 minutes later to pop out, if they even show up at all.
And they rarely ever do.
And they rarely ever do.
They rarely ever do.
And if they do, it's like 30 minutes after the fact that they're on the ground and like, oh, whoops, I was doing my hair. Like, come on. So I don't want to hear that, like, oh, there's something always bigger when that happens. It's like, no, there's nothing bigger. It's just what it is. There's no thought put into that at all.
No,
so
it's just well, we need this beat down. So here it is.
I agree with you when you said about the Hurt Business with their match tonight.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting to right now. Yeah. Jeff Hardy and the New Day versus the Hurt Business of Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander. It's a good match.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this match. It was a good pick me up after the nightmare before TLC and the almost bullshit. I really like Cedric Alexander. You know, what did I say a couple months ago? I said, if this guy joins the Hurt Business,
it's gonna really.
He's gonna take off.
Yeah,
he's gonna take off.
Yeah,
and he's taking off.
And he is.
The aggression. He looks like a star.
And here's the thing.
He looks like a star.
I'm glad.
Now they just need to call him Alexander, and that's
it. That's
just drop the Cedric.
Oh
part.
Well, that's happening in what, like next week maybe.
Yeah.
But
let's call him Al. That's what they're gonna call him.
Hey, Al.
Here comes Al.
I like Cedric Alexander, and I'm really, really glad that, because it was for so long with him, it was like push, stop, push, stop.
Everybody.
All the time.
Everybody gets that.
But with him in particular.
Dolph Ziggler is the king of that.
Well, yeah. He takes the reign for sure.
He's the king and queen.
This is nice to see that. One out of how many guys are on the roster? How many people are on the roster?
Too many.
Okay.
Too many people on this roster,
too. Too many people is they're finally giving them something to do, you know, and give a really good character. So good for you, Al.
Yeah. You're gonna be a star, Al.
Hashtag Al.
They are really just trying to run with this Lana thing, like anybody cares, but. I don't understand what's the point of stretching this out any further, but apparently they're going to do it. Lana versus Nia Jax is something that they've been building since October, at least, or maybe even September, October. Yeah, no, I think it's been September, October, November.
It was the end of September.
Lana has been crushed by Nia Jax multiple times. Now they're going to have, apparently this is going to be the payoff match tonight. Lana's going to pick up her big win over Nia Jax. Let me find the time real quick. I just got to get the time of how long this stupid match went. And by the way, the finish was actually good. Like I didn't mind the finish. I didn't mind that Lana went over Nia Jax.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I would have preferred if it happened like on a bigger stage or like with more warning, like, okay, this is it.
This is
like,
it. Yeah.
This just felt like another stupid chapter in this long book that I didn't want to read in the first place. But I didn't know that it was one of the final chapters or whatever. But anyway, Lana's finally going to get her big shine over Nia Jax. In 1 minute and 45 seconds after 3.5 months of this, 1 minute and 45 seconds is all they gave that stupid match. Like, I'm not saying it should have gone through a commercial break. But I'm saying, why didn't they have Nia Jax just get some? You could have found time. You could have found time. You could have found time.
They don't respect the women.
No, they don't. But if I don't even like this storyline. But I'm like, well, maybe Nia Jax should have beat her up for at least 3 minutes. Just because 3 minutes with Nia Jax can seem like 10.
Oh, for sure. Because
so it's like,
Nia Jax.
So it's like, my God, just like you want to get the people to the point where it's just like, just end this match, and then she puts her on her shoulders, goes to the top rope for the Samoan drop. Lana slides off, double stomps her to the mat, and pins her. Then it's like, wow, I was not expecting that. I thought she was just gonna crush her. 1 minute and 45 seconds, all they gave that. Here I am complaining about the length of a Nia Jax match. That's how bad the storytelling is here. I complained about it the entire time because it sucked, and now they've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I just want to see the end of this. Maybe they'll at least make the end good, and then they shortchange you on that.
Well, I don't like.
And then they do a beatdown segment,
They have the lack of respect for these.
Oh, the women are shot. They're shot right now
terrible.
in WWE.
It's terrible.
It's horrible. And then it's Lana's removed from the TLC match this Sunday. So it must continue. We must continue this stupid storyline some more. Can you believe this? Can you believe it?
Well, I can and I can't. I can and I can't. Because this is very indicative of how this company is going to be for a very long time. And I was the fool who.
I just want to in the chat real quick. Tony Khan did not buy Impact Wrestling. I just want to make that clear. Okay. Continue.
This is going to be very indicative, and I was a fool to think pandemic. We're gonna rise to the occasion. We're gonna really go into our story.
They started to.
But they gave up. They gave up. And it's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah. They've been giving up for a long time. They realize like we only have to put in half an effort. There's enough idiots out there that will just continue to watch this show.
They're losing idiots by the week.
Right. And then there's people like us that just watch and we're just like, when's it gonna get back?
Yeah, but you know what though?
We're watching like, when's it gonna get back to like good?
When's it gonna get to be like meh?
I want to come on this show and just laud. Like I love when the show's good and just coming on here and just saying like, that was really good. This really worked. This was awesome.
If we didn't do this
now instead I have to recap the Miz and John Morrison versus beating Keith Lee. I was watching that match with Keith Lee. I was like, my God, Keith Lee actually does need a lot of work. He was terrible in that match. But so were Miz and Morrison. Everything was just seemed like it was mistimed and late. They were doing too much. It's like, ugh. It's like, what was the point of that match?
Well, I don't know if with Keith Lee, you said he needs a lot of work, right? I think with him, do you think it's a confidence thing now at this point? Because
I would think so.
I firmly believe because he really, I saw something special in him. I really did. And I enjoy him, I think he's really a lot of potential. But I think it's that mindset of like, how much more can I endure of like this weird, transition and like them not really knowing what to do with me. And like, I myself now is confused and like, I'm questioning what I do in the ring and how I am as a character. I wouldn't want to be those 4 individuals right now, that were asked to go back down.
There's a few more. Yeah.
I really wouldn't. That's and again, not from an ego perspective. It's just sad because it didn't have to be like that if they just put in the time and the effort to actually build them up. Because if, everybody has bad days. They do. So it's like, but it's what you come out of. I
saw the New Day and Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander had a really bad day the night after Survivor Series.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
But you know what though? Like for me, and again, I can't say I've never been a boss before, but like I would, like listen, you had a bad night, but it's gonna get better. Like we're gonna make this work for you.
I bench people when they have bad nights. That's what I do.
But instead of like working with him and really like trying to see if it really is just
in general, you would have like house shows to work on them with stuff. Now they don't have house shows, so he's got to go to the performance center. I don't actually mind it that much. No, but I do mind that like there are other people that are really not that good that aren't in these classes apparently. Bray Wyatt, I'm done.
You didn't like his Christmas sweater?
I am really, really done.
Liliana enjoyed it.
Liliana loved the Bray Wyatt thing tonight.
Did I say this to everybody before? I
put a picture up on Facebook of her.
But Bray Wyatt, like that whole thing is like Elmo's world. That's the concept. And she loves Sesame Street now. So it's like, that's the concept of the show in the background. Like if you notice the comparisons, it's actually pretty funny. Liliana was the best part of the entire segment with those two because she was just watching it because it was like the music and the characters and she just enjoyed it. She really thinks it's a kid's show.
Yeah. Here's Liliana. She just marched right over to the TV and she was just bouncing. Really glad that you're and she's just and she was smiling and I was like should we tell her that it's not he's a bad guy?
Do we really like her shows anyway?
No, I
I like Blue's Clues, but
I like Blue's Clues too. Actually,
I
Blue's Clues is pretty darn good. The music is they really upped their game on that. But man, I like this whole entire thing. So like Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton playing hide and seek. Orton finds him, shoves him into a crate, lights the crate on fire with gasoline, so he commits murder on TV.
Yeah.
And then the Fiend just pops out because the Fiend can't ever, even for 1 second, be vulnerable. How are you supposed to convincingly beat something that's never been vulnerable? I know. We're not going to get into it again, but like, man,
I know.
It was even worse than last week. Worse.
It was about the same.
No, this one was worse.
Why do you say that?
You know why? Because the fire thing, like that was okay. From what?
I don't know. I think
he just got a pinch. That's all it was. He probably just had like a little needle thing. The Undertaker, like when his casket would get set on fire, that would signal like, okay, that's like. He's going away for a few months, to recoup and whatever. Like they're taking all these gimmicks that like work and killing them. Constantly. It's like you set something on fire that doesn't stop the Fiend. Well, an RKO is gonna do it though. Like, how am I supposed to even get into it? How am I supposed to get into it?
You're right.
How?
I don't know.
You don't. You can't. It's impossible. It's not wrestling.
No.
It'd be great if it was like, Sin City, if the Fiend was part of like that, like a pseudo comic book world, but not professional wrestling. It's too outside the goddamn box. It just is. It stinks. It's just not good. Anyway.
Anywho.
But like, so even like Hell in a Cell, they've taken that, like that gimmick and it's totally gone. It's totally dead. Like TLC, they are just there killing that too now. It's like, why do we have to kill all these gimmicks that work and they don't replace them with new things that are working? I don't get it. Daniel Shell's here. Daniel Shale and Jorge Oliva. I don't know if I said hello to Jorge today.
Hello.
All right. Anyway, Mace versus Ricochet. I think we talked about that already. Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke. Fuck that shit. MVP versus Matt Riddle. That was filler. This championship ascension thing, boring. Nothing. I mean, the promos were fine, but
yeah,
it's like, like they're trying to get you geared up for a TLC match with Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles, which by all rights should be a great match, and it should be like, a dream match.
Yeah.
But they already told you that there's going to just be dickery the entire time with the Miz and John Morrison and Omos getting involved. It's like, how are AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre supposed to map out a good match when you have to do all this stupid stuff and you have to remind everybody every week that the Miz has the damn Money in the Bank thing? I'm tired of it. It's the same crap all the time. Goosey's here.
Hi, Goosey.
Don't get it. I don't get it. What say you?
Yeah. Well, let's just put it this way. Do you think I'm excited for TLC?
No.
No, I'm
I'm
not.
excited for the Crimbus Craptacular.
Me too. Oh, what are you guys doing it for, by the way? Oh, okay.
I think Adam's surprising everybody. I don't want to say it. But
that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, that should be good.
That's something I do look forward to.
Yeah, that's gonna be some good stuff. Well,
anybody who's new to the channel, explain a little bit.
No, I already did at the beginning of the show.
Oh.
That's what I did. So you were upstairs. I already did this. That was a segment that already happened.
Did you talk about Liliana last year?
Yes, I did. I said that we were talking about it before during Raw, and watching the highlight clip that Adam put together of all the stuff. It was so great that what they did for us. Yes. So, do you want to say something about it?
I just want to say thank you again to everybody.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so I think it's pretty clear what I'm giving this show.
I think
thumbs down.
Oh,
hold on a second. Daniel Schell came right at the right time here.
Uh-oh.
If you round that up, it's 69% thumbs down. Thumbs down. 69% for Daniel Schell. Showed up just in time.
I'm actually kind of shocked always when it's not like 90% thumbs down.
I know. I'll never forget that one show in the one where Dean Ambrose said, like, I'm done with WWE. I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not re-signing a contract.
Yeah.
That one did 94% thumbs down, and it was like 250 votes. Crazy. Crazy. Billy's here. Uncle Billy's in the chat room.
Uncle Billy.
All right. Yeah, I give this a thumbs down. Chat room, what do you say? What do you say?
I think everyone's gonna give it a thumbs up.
Goosey wants to donate to the Get Liliana restraining order from the Wrestleview chat fund. Quentin Walters, tonight's Raw was the living shits. Now time for Chicago PD or Blues Clues.
No, Blues Clues. I'll watch because we already watched on Infinite Loop. I'll watch that on Infinite Loop. Don't make me watch this.
Daniel Schell says it's a great day. Biden won election and it's 69 thumbs down. Giggity, giggity, giggity D. There you go. Slipmush, I'd like to donate to the Tedesco Rant Foundation.
No. Crimbus this year.
Curtains. We got to do curtains. That's what we got to do it for.
Surprises. Thanks, everybody. We really appreciate it.
Jorge Oliva, thumbs up for Blues Clues. Raw, thumbs down. Mr. V goes 69%. Nice. Thumbs down, and I did not watch it. That's what he says. Brian is here, so we say hello to Brian.
Hi,
the
Brian.
fact that you can't remember a specific bad Raw shows how brutal these shows have fallen.
Yes.
No, I remember. I remember.
Right.
I don't remember specifically where it was. I just remember that Dean Ambrose was getting vaccines at a vet clinic.
Was that the night that he quit?
That was the night that he said
with the vaccines
that I'm done. Yeah,
it was the same night. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was the same night that got
Renee's
the 94.
Pregnant, right?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
That was the same night that they got the 94% thumbs down, where I couldn't believe what they had done to the Dean Ambrose character. So maybe it has been worse before, but man, but you know what? It's like it used to be bad, and then it would pick up again, and then it would be like, okay, they would always have like a good couple months, getting to SummerSlam, then it would always kind of go down again, but. It seemed like through the years from as I've been, recapping Raw since 2014, it's like 2014 was a lull, 2015 goes up, but not as much as it was in 2014. And then 2015, it goes down and it goes back up for 2016, but not as much as it did in 2015. And it's just been slowly and incrementally losing more and more people and going up less and less.
It's 2020.
No, it's not because of 2020. It's because
2020.
No, it's not. It's because this show is really bad.
It's 2020 though.
It's because the storytelling is really bad. The model for storytelling is really bad.
But it's 2020.
I don't care. Stop. It's more than that. It's more than that. Anyway,
2020.
Billy, stop. Billy Hefner did not see as he's been sick, so we send a healing mojo to Billy.
My Billy.
Chris LG in the chat room. Hello, Chris. Mashoon gives it a thumbs down for a 3-hour show. Daniel Shell, donate to Doug's AA meeting. Andrew Elder, get Randy Orton to burn down those curtains.
Yes.
Slip Mush wants to know what kind of curtains we need. We want to get like
get blinds.
Yeah, we're gonna get blinds. Yeah,
because you know what it is. This is a very you can't see it, but
it's sheer.
It's a big window. It's a very big window, and you not that we're walking around like but you can't even like
I just want to run around like the house with the baby and like not everybody that is walking their dog by our house can't like look in.
And they do look in.
They do. It's
Everyone
so weird.
does.
It's so annoying. But we're looking out at them. So there you go.
Our neighbor in the back.
Our neighbor in the back is the worst. We're next Crimbus show. They're gonna get bushed. We're buying a whole bunch of bushes and just erecting them back there. Come on now.
So we need blinds and we need bushes.
That's it. Get Randy Goosey says we need to raise about $1,000 a year. Those curtains better pee glitter and make Mike a sandwich on command. Quentin, next week's Post Raw 109. Tedesco must rant. Corey Howell, Post Raw. Mike rants. Victoria and Baby Lily, always a thumbs up. Danielle, Lily versus Rue at WrestleMania 60. I'm down for that.
Lily would kick Rue's butt.
Yes, she would. Andrew Elder makes a good point here. 2020 exposed how bad it is. It's true.
That's what I was trying
Wrestling
to say.
is really, really bad. But
Andrew put it more eloquently.
but with no fans, it's like that's the one thing that was really glaring was how bad these promos were without the fans. So bad. Chris wants to know who voted thumbs up. Bruce Pritchard is the worst.
Bruce Pritchard voted thumbs up.
So yeah, I think the consensus is that this is just a mess. Well, anyway, people, we're going to be back for a long show on Friday with the Crimbus Craptacular. We hope you all tune in. We're going to, like I said, we're going to have a lot of great people coming back. Adam Martin, Hunter Golden, Tom Van Stone. You never know who's going to pop up. Maybe Goosey is going to pop up on the show. He usually does. Maybe Walkie. Maybe you never know who's going to be there. You never know.
Maybe
you never know. Maybe Dave Stevens, looking like he's in a crackdown again, is going to show up. I don't know. That'd be really nice to see him though. We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. And then we also have TLC this Sunday, so you'll have some content there. Are we doing Post Raw next week? Can we tell them right now, yes or no?
What's next week?
Well, next week is the week of Christmas, so it'll be December 21st.
Is that all right next week already?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I don't have anything done.
I think we should do a Post Raw and then call it for 2020. I think next year is going to be the last Post Raw of 2020.
Oh my gosh, it's scary. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we'll be back next week Post Raw. Maybe we should do a watch along.
Yes.
Is that weird? Like should we do a live watch along of Monday Night Raw next week?
Yes.
I'm gonna let the latency
and pie.
Maybe we'll just do pie just for whatever.
Just pie.
Just we'll just
we don't even know what's happening.
We'll make prop bets and just whatever happens.
It'll even like this.
I don't know. Is this something that we should do?
Watch along and pie.
Or should we wait for the watch along the night after Royal Rumble? For like an actual big Raw.
No, it's a good it's right before the holidays, the end of 2020.
Okay.
Who says we can't do both?
I'm not saying we can't do both. I'm asking you.
I think it's a good idea.
All right. Slipmush says, ooh, that's a great idea. Daniel wants it. Quentin wants it. Okay. Andrew wants a watch along of Chicago PD too.
Yes.
Mr. V will do it only if he guest appears.
Mr. V is always allowed to guest appear.
Brian says anything to get a mic rant earlier is always a plus. You might get the rant in real time. Yeah, this might be a thing.
Wait a minute. Can we start like 15 minutes before the show starts so Chicago PD's on?
Yes.
So you get a little bit of the Chicago PD.
Yeah. Do both a crap Raw and a great Raw in January. Okay, there you go. Okay, I like that. Okay, everybody wants it. That's what we're gonna get. They want Daniel Shell wants to watch along with Miz and Mrs. too. Okay.
Yes.
Victoria will do that one by herself.
Woohoo.
All right, so we got some plans. We got some plans next week. We're gonna do a live watch along of Monday
I'm really
Night Raw
excited
next
now.
week. I can't believe
I'm
this.
very excited.
I can't believe
I'm
this.
really excited.
I cannot believe
it's our first one in the house.
it'll be our first live watch along in the house.
Because
that's for
we
sure.
were in our old apartment.
That's correct. That's correct. All right, everybody. I'm Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco, the owner of these lovely curtains.
That's right. I have a stake in them too, unfortunately. We'll see you on Friday for the Crimbus Craptacular. Be there.
Or be square.
No.